you are checking in from. We are over 400 people. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. For those searching for the new YouTube, you have to type in Rizza Islam dash intellectual extremist. Rizza Islam dash intellectual extremist. All right, all right. Make sure you subscribe to the new YouTube. We are going to do our best to not get it taken down, but then again, our best is putting out the real information, which they don't like. So it is what it is. Come on in, come on in. Let me know what city, what state, what country you're checking in from. Let them know your brother is live. I see you. What is it? Las Vegas, New York. I see you. Chicago is in the building. Compton, as you should be. Compton in the house. Cali overall is in the house. I see you, Texas. I see you in here. San Francisco is in the building. Jersey is in the building. I hope y'all doing good out there. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. A few different things I'm going to go over tonight. I know it is midnight on the East Coast, so I know y'all are up kind of late right now. Philly is in the building. I really hope y'all doing all right with the controlled issues they are putting out there. Controlled issues. You don't randomly have a chemical fall into the water supply. Stuff like that doesn't just happen. It doesn't just fall into the water supply. So shout out and much love to my family over in Philly. Make sure you take care of yourself. Someone said your Drink Champs interview was fire. Your Drink Champs interview was fire until they brought the... Yeah, that was interesting. That was very interesting, to be honest with you. I know. But I was very honored that Noriega would have me on Drink Champs. I mean, it's Drink Champs. And clearly, they know Brother Rizza Islam does not drink. He does not smoke. We love our family. It doesn't matter if you drink or smoke. We love our family, so that's not the problem. But the point of the show is to get your guest as drunk as possible and then ask them questions while they are getting drunk. That's what Noriega told me. That's what the show is about. And I didn't drink. But I gave them a lot of respect, and they gave me respect, and so it was a really good interview, definitely. For those who are asking about the YouTube, again, search Rizza Islam Intellectual Extremist. You will find it. You will find it. Trust and believe. Walaikum salam, walaikum salam. You will find it. I'm hearing it's a mess over in Philly. Yes, yeah, definitely is, from what I've heard as well. Peace to our melanated family in Germany, Memphis, Tennessee. I see y'all. All are in here. Come on in. People fighting over cases of water. Definitely a controlled circumstance. Definitely a controlled circumstance. Ramadan Kareem. For those who are celebrating Ramadan and are fasting during this holy month, as I am, it is definitely a beautiful time. Definitely a beautiful time. Knock out the prayers, study, make sure you exercise, stay hydrated, stay hydrated, stay hydrated. Of course. All right, beautiful time. Now, really quick, a couple things that I'm going to go over really fast. I have not been live with all of you in quite some time. Peace to my family over in ATL, per usual. That's like a second or third home, ATL. Point number one, let me knock this one out real fast because it's the recent one that I just posted about regarding our brother Jonathan Majors. Let me say this to y'all. Let me just say something really quick to you. When you run with rumor, speculation, and gossip, you are the most foolish person in the room. Let me just mention this to you again. If you run off of rumor, speculation, and or gossip, you are the most foolish people in the room. I have to tell you honestly, seriously. I've watched plenty of people get accused of things, male and female, for sure. And I watched the internet rip these people apart. Quick, I'm talking about in no limit of time. 20 minutes, just I knew that nigga was, I knew she was just a bunch of Speculation, no actual facts. No actual facts whatsoever. Just assumption, gossip, hearsay, word of mouth, but no actual facts. I watch people, I'm telling you, and I just sit back looking like, wow, you don't have any facts to back up what you're saying, but you wanted a reason to dislike that sister or to dislike that brother. Very simple. When we do that, we now put ourselves backwards. Why am I saying that? This system already doesn't take us serious. They know what they've done to us. They know exactly what they owe us. They know this. But the more we run off with things that are not actual facts, with things that are literal gossip, things that make no sense, we lessen our, what is called ethics presence. We lessen our ability to be taken serious when we need to be taken serious. It becomes less now. So then people stop really listening to what we have to say when we're serious, because they don't know whether we're serious or not at that point, and therefore it falls on us collectively. It moves away from one individual or one situation to them. That's how it goes. So when I saw that situation with Jonathan Majors, I said, okay, first off, yes, to the white people watching, because I do have a number of Caucasian admirers, people who, dealing with the health freedom movement, definitely appreciate any support. Definitely not a problem. However, let me say this to you. When we as black people say we love the black woman, that is because of what your ancestors did to us as a result of loving the black woman. Let me say this again. When we as black men say we love the black woman, I don't give a damn about this nonsense going on today with this false gender war. We have Negroes on YouTube going back and forth arguing with women all day long, rating them on some pseudo Eurocentric European style of beauty standards or value standards, saying, well, because you are a 2, you are a 6, because you, how many children do you have? You are this, you are that. Again, a lot of y'all clearly didn't grow up in no hood. You really didn't. Like, a lot of y'all are some weird dudes on the internet right now. You can clearly see a lot of y'all did not grow up with real black women and black men. You don't have too much of a deep cultural connection. Why am I saying this? If one black woman did you wrong, that's that sister that did you wrong. Not all of them. If 2 of them did you wrong, all right, those 2 did you wrong. Not all of them. If 5 of them did you wrong, all right, those 5, not all of them. Vice versa when it comes to us as men, black men, sisters. If you made a mistake and got with a Negro, straight up Negro, he did you dirty. He did you dirty. Not we did you dirty. Sisters, if those 2 brothers you ended up getting with back to back or however long it took in between, if they did you wrong, they did you wrong. Not we did you wrong. We have to stop generalizing each other. This is a very sick stupidity that I cannot stand when it comes to us. And why do I say it like that? Because when you have brothers like myself and plenty of others and sisters and plenty of them who get out here speaking up for, standing up for us as a people, it makes it a little more difficult for us. Just a little. It just makes it a little difficult. Not too much, because I love us and I know it's a trauma situation that you're pushing, because it's not dealing with all of them. You haven't met all black men, haven't met all black women. So therefore, logically, mathematically, to be very precise, you do not mean all black men, all black women. No, you're referring to all the ones that you messed with or made the mistake of doing things with that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. You tried to play her, you ended up getting played. You tried to play him, you ended up getting played. You messed with his friend, you were wrong. You messed with her friend, Negro, you were wrong. You got caught up. Oh, and guess what? You got caught up. And rather than saying, you know what, my bad, let me apologize, you want to start blasting that. See, this why black women, this why niggas ain't. No. Self accountability, discipline, responsibility is something that lacks with us too damn often. If you did her dirty, you did that. Own up to it, take responsibility, do better. Vice versa, sister. If you cheated on him, it's not because you were confused, You were emotionally in between. Stop it. Stop. Knock it off. We look like a joke to people. So then fast forward, something like this happens with a brother named Jonathan Majors. I don't know him personally. But let's just say to the white folks, we had to fight to be able to love the black woman. And when we did do that, we were killed for doing that. Okay, now some of you are like, oh my God, here we go. That's why I don't like some of us. If you don't have a deep love for your black woman or the black man as a people, there's no conversation we need to have. There's not, because you're too controlled by trauma. I'm going to say it one more time. When I'm in a room full of white folk, a stage, a stadium full of white people, I openly, on a consistent basis, declare that I love the black woman and there is no woman better than the black woman. Period. Get mad if you want to. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't want you to really understand. I don't give a damn. I sincerely don't. You think I care about your opinion when it comes to me loving the black woman? No. I don't care. Take that. What you gonna do? Good. So when I say that, that's what I mean. When some of you brothers jump in and you start pushing your trauma, your weakness, your slackness, and your, at times, legitimate pain. Because I have to say this too, sisters. A lot of black men have been done very dirty by certain black women. That is a fact. That is a fact. I'm talking about good brothers. I'm not talking about Negroes. I'm talking about good brothers. A lot of good black men have been done very dirty by some black women. And the sisters, you got to own that. You have to. You have to own that and call out your sisters who you know be doing stuff like that. You know some of your friends. You know some of your friends. You know your sister. You know your cousin. You know that one who you grew up with. You know how she do. She be jumping in people's marriages. She be, it's a game to some women. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get him. Girl, he not faithful. Watch this. You know how I'm telling you, I have 7 biological sisters, a bunch of cousins. I grew up in the hood. I know how this works. Stop playing. Holding a man away from his child, using the system against him, and, come on now, to leverage the system against him so that he can't see his child, knowing that he's a good man. He may not have all the money, but he's doing his best. He's a good father, but you use a system to dangle the child in front of him to, in a devil way, keep him away from his family. Like that kind of stuff. No. I'm talking, this is a black man who loves the black woman. I'm saying this seriously. You got to stop doing that. Seriously. Then on the other end, brothers, same thing with us. Same thing with us. You messing with 2 people, you know they friends. You messing with one girl, you know that's her friend over there, and you messing with her too. Giving her a different name than you gave her. Playing both of them. Y'all know, come on now. Don't make me call out the game and the strategy, bro. Don't make me do it to you. I'm saying all of this to make sure we get this clear real fast. Neither one of us are clean. But the reality is, that's our business. That's our dirt. Chinese people have issues in their relationships, male and female. Indians have issues in their relationships, male and female. Mexicans have issues. Australians have issues. Every nationality and group of people have issues in their relationships. Male and female, they do. But they keep that in-house. That's their business. With us, it's our business. I'm not about to, if me and my queen are having an argument, that's not your damn business. That's not your business. We handle that here. And guess what? If you try to jump into this argument, we both need to pause this argument and come at you like, hey, excuse me, back up. No. We're having a back and forth. You are not supposed to be involved in this. See, that's how we need to operate. Stop tearing your damn brother or your sister down in the media so quick. Calm down. Seriously. So, Jonathan Majors, real quick, just to end this whole point. Word is he's with a white girl. Let Let me say this again to you white folk. Traditionally, when white women interact with black men, traditionally, about 8 times out of 10, something bad happens. This is what we know to be the record. This is what is known to be the pattern. It's just the pattern. I'm not attacking you for your personal relationship. Your personal relationship is irrelevant. I'm not talking about your personal relationship. There are a lot of interracial relationships. Okay, they exist. Sure, we know. Okay, some of y'all have a white parent, a white mother, a white father. Okay, it happens. Got it. But the reality is 8 to 9 times out of 10 in history and up to the very present, when a black man is with a white woman, culturally, we have big differences here. This is why if you don't have a conversation about slavery, you will never get to the maximum capacity of your relationship if you do not have the hard conversations. Too many of y'all are having conversations based around sex in general nonsense. Flowers. Stop it, dude. Really? Really? I could never be with a white woman. Never. That's just me. Never. I'm too black. There's no such thing as too black. I am deeply in love with my people. I have no need, no care, no thirst, no interest whatsoever in a white woman in that way at all. I don't. I'm proud to say I've never had any sexual intercourse with a white woman. I know you didn't ask for that information. I'm voluntarily telling you this so you can understand some of us really love that black woman right there. That's all. Just that black woman right there. Okay? Some of us just love the black woman. Deeply. And we make no apologies for that. So Jonathan Majors gets attacked physically, so far as what the story says. So we're going to wait for the video to come out and all of that. Is it? Okay. Sisters, you can answer if you want to be honest. You can. Somebody said, I love all women. Wonderful. I prefer the black woman. I'm talking. I prefer the black woman. And I'm making a point too. You can love whatever woman you want to, but let's just make this very clear. Seriously. Because most of us right now who are watching and typing, you wouldn't exist in the way your mind is right now. It would not apply 100 years ago. If you were in 1920, stop it. If you were in 1820, stop it. You can't even comment on it because you weren't there. Don't do it to yourself. Stop it. This is my point. Just stop it. Hell, 2020. Stop it. Please. Let me say it this way. Sisters, answer if you want to be honest. Brothers, I need your undivided attention really quick. Quick question. Has a woman ever put her hands on you without you putting your hands on her? Go ahead and answer that. I'll answer for myself. Absolutely. Most definitely. More than once. For sure. For sure. Absolutely. No doubt. Definitely. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Sure. Okay. Let's see. Yes, brothers. Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you already know. Definitely. Okay. Sisters, thank you for answering as well. Yes. 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 For sure. Definitely. Okay. Okay. So I think that answers that part of the question, because the other question was going to be, is it possible that a woman can put her hands on a man without him putting his hands on her? Sure. Sure. Usually because of your nature. So it says, sweet Rizza. Yes. What? Ooh, yes. No, okay. Well, all right. I don't talk about this, but if you want to go there, I have absolutely been physically abused by women multiple times in my life. Known as the corny dude, he's too nice. Yeah, that was your brother. Your brother. The too nice, corny. For sure. emotionally abused, cursed out, all kind of stuff. I mean, trying to tear your brother down, all that. Been through it all of it, for sure. Yes, with only black women. Some of y'all might be confused. Wait, what? You've been verbally abused, physically abused, all that, emotionally abused by nothing but black women, but you stand up for black women so much? That don't make sense. It makes perfect sense because it wasn't all black women. Not every single black woman on the planet. No, not the majority. Not even one of 0.0000000.1%. No. Those are individuals. See, a problem that too many of us have in this culture is that we take one situation or even a few situations with a few individuals, and then we generalize that for all of the women or the men in our culture. And then we use that as an excuse to go and venture out to another culture and say, black men ain't this, black women ain't that. When it's like, excuse me, you haven't met all black men. You haven't met all black women. You haven't even met the majority. But it is what's called a traumatic response. And therefore you feel pain because this one looks like the last one you was with. This one sounds like the last one you was with. This one, damn near, you like, that gotta be his brother, his twin. Man, she act just like my baby mama. That's crazy. It's a trauma circumstance. It's a traumatic response. It's not logical. When you start to go into generalizations, you are absolutely being reactive and not logical. All of y'all, all of who? You ain't never met Brother Rizza. I never did that to you. So sometimes we have to back up and look at what we're dealing with, which causes us to do certain things or not do certain things or behave in a certain way. Absolutely. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan said a woman is made to test you and she will test you. He also said that you should not put your hands on a woman, and sisters, you should not put your hands on a man. So let's make sure we give it all the way in full context here. We have to keep our hands to ourselves. So case in point, I don't know what the video shows when it comes to Jonathan Major. I don't know. Somebody say, you ain't never met the great king? Y'all funny. Y'all are funny. No, I'm saying just seriously, we haven't met all of each other. We haven't. So therefore we can't rob ourselves. We can't do that. I'm not going to rob all these black men who watch what I do. I'm not going to rob all of them by saying, because of this experience that I had over here with this black woman, I don't know, bro. I can't say all these black women are good women. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because the ones I done met. Hold on, excuse me. First of all, stop telling me about the ones you met. I'm positive you've met a good one in your life. Guarantee you. So we got to switch things up here. Jonathan Major was with a white woman. I'm going to just say it this way, okay? He was with a white woman. Traditionally, we know that causes problems off top. Traditionally. All right. Normally, it's how it goes. All right. Normally, it's how it goes. Because I got to get into some more serious things really quick. But I had to drop this on us really, really fast. On us. Because everything else that I'm going to go into deals with us as a family and things we need to do when it comes to the financial system, the collapse and all that, the World War III potentially about to happen. And as Farrakhan said, is the War of Armageddon has begun. It is what it is. So, brothers, when you don't have your deep cultural connection, a lot of issues happen after that. Another thing I want to mention here, because it's not just that innocent, it's not just that simple. When you start to go into higher levels of Hollywood and acting and athletics and all of that, you have people placed around you. Now, when I was interviewed on Hip Hop Uncensored, they asked me about handlers, and I was expressing and explaining to them what handlers are. Please be mindful that the more money you start to make, the less people of substance you have around you. Why? Because they're going to remind you of the right things to do and call out the wrong things that you should not be doing. So they have to be targeted to be removed from you. Children who were child actors in Nickelodeon, Disney, Hollywood, all together. They tell you this right now because many of them are either on drugs, were on drugs, in rehab right now, were in rehab in the past. Some of them took their own lives because they never grew up to know exactly who they were. There's a very thick collection of things here. It's not one or two. There are layers to this circumstance here. So you have that, right? Handlers peeling off the good people from around you. Boom, 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 boom. The higher up you go, the more money you're making, the more famous you're getting. They start peeling off the good people, the ones who are going to protect you, the ones who are going to protect your money, the ones who are going to protect your image, the ones who are going to tell you, hey, man, don't do that. Hey, sis, don't post that. All right, no, not right now. Don't go over there. Hey, stop drinking. All right, hold on. I don't know who that is. Put that drink down. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's not go to that party. You ain't got to go there tonight. All right? So they start to peel them off. Then, after and in between they start peeling people off, they start to set up people around you. This person's going to handle your money. This person's going to handle your PR, your public relations. This person's going to handle possibly your clothing, depending on how big you get and how packed your schedule is. They're going to do the shopping for you. This person's going to handle your meals or your food. You may get a chef. This person's going to handle your production. This person's going to handle this. This person's going to handle that. Do. And before you know it, your whole life is set up by people who you don't even know. And last but not least, this person is going to be your supplier. Let me say this one more time, because if any of you are watching me who know that what I'm saying is the truth, you know. Last but not least, to make sure that you don't pop into present time or wake up at all, you get a supplier set up next to you. Supplier for what? What you think? Do I gotta say it? Your supplier. They make sure they keep you stocked up on your hallucinogens, on your uppers and downers, meaning your sedatives and stimulants. That smoke, that drink. All right? And your supplier's always able to get in the house, into the studio, into the locker room, wherever you at. Boop, 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 boop. They're always taken care of. It's smooth. And I'm talking about the ones that get set up for you. I'm not talking about the ones that you brought into the game with you. Once you blew up, they were already there. No, I'm talking about the ones that you don't even know. And they all of a sudden you get supplied with, whoa, you're like, damn, whoa. Okay? So you have the people of substance pulled and ripped from you, one by one by one by one by one, okay? Then you get the people placed around you who you don't really know, one by one by one by one by one. Then you have the supplier to make sure you're constantly out of present time. You're either high, you're drunk, you ha, all the time. Interviews, you high, your eyes are glazed over, cameras on the red carpet. You always like this, eyes bugged out because you're gone mentally. This is a very real thing. And then in between all of this, you have the small percentage of good brothers, good sisters, good people who genuinely love acting, love singing, love rapping, love basketball, love football. They love the sports they're playing. They're really doing this. Boom, 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 boom. And they go through the most crap because they refuse to bow down. Now, once you have that situation where you have morals, you have ethics, you're not bowing down, you're not bending over for the system, you're not accepting everything that they give you, okay, you are placed in a separate category to be watched and maintained. You have a handler too. Your agent sometimes is an agent. I'm going to say this one more time. It's not a movie. All right, this is very real. Your agent sometimes is an agent. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is actual facts. It's basics in psychological mental warfare. Rizza, proof it. Let me ask you this question. Why in the hell would I sign you and sign you to a 20, 30, 40, $50 million contract? $50 million? $50 million? And I'm not going to watch you? I set up your platform, millions upon millions of followers. You can influence the whole world with the press of a button. And you mean to tell me I'm not going to watch you? Please, y'all, please think with me. Some of you who have children, you watching them. When they're around the house, you watching them. Making sure they're not going to break nothing. You setting up those little baby gates between the kitchen and the living room, between where the dog is over there, and between you setting up all kinds of things, making sure all the sharp edges in the house have something covered up because, okay, you got to make sure you're watching them, right? Imagine providing 20, 30, 40 million dollars to someone because of their talent and because of how they're gonna make you money and all that, but also they still have a mind of their own. So you making sure they don't meet with certain people, that they don't go to certain neighborhoods, they stay up in the hill areas. It's one major reason why I can't stand Hollywood. But I go up there to meet with some of these artists because they want me to, and I talk to them and I give them advice. But I trust me when I tell you this, I can't stand Hollywood. If you live in LA, most people will tell you that's not the place that you want to be. It is purely satanic. It is insane. For the most part, it genuinely is. All right. Okay, I said I was going to end this, but there was a lot of layers that y'all had to hear about that. Seriously. So the Jonathan Mayers thing, if you don't know the facts, don't say anything. That goes for anything. If you don't know the facts, don't say anything. And even if you do know the facts, maybe it's not the right time to say anything. But because of the situation that he's in, I don't know. I thought it was a humiliation ritual for a second. I said, well, wait a minute. That pink overcoat that he was wearing, some people may not have known, but that was a famous anime character, one of the most powerful anime characters, a male. I forgot his name. Man, if you know his name, let me know. But that pink coat is what this anime character wears. And I watch anime, so I looked. I was like, what is that? And I said, oh, okay, it's one of the most powerful fighters. He's just a flamboyant, boastful fighter, right? And for those who are, slow down your brain for some of y'all, specifically to the soft Negroes watching, chill. Just chill for a second. This is your problem. You're too emotional. One major thing we have to do as men, as black men, is stop being so damn emotional. Seriously, it's an irritant. Yeah, in One Piece, Mr. Flamingo. I said, okay, yeah, I'm not really buying that entirely. Yeah, he wore it, but nah, not buying that entirely. Sorry, not even close. Was that following the buck breaking standard? Yes, absolutely. I don't care if Goku wore it. I'm not wearing it. I love watching anime, for sure. I'm not wearing that. Because that has nothing to do with my culture. No. No. Period. No. So you got to have a level of integrity. So it went from that to all of a sudden, oh, he's this monster choking this girl. And hold on. I said, wait a minute. The news was too quick. The news was too fast without having any evidence whatsoever. The moment you see something like that, you should do this. The moment you see the news spread a story with no actual evidence, you should do this quickly. You should say, whoa, wait. That don't make no sense. This brother is in two of the biggest movies of his career and two of the biggest movies of anyone's career at the same time. And is a black man. Very articulate. Brother can act for real. Okay. And all that stuff. I'm like, okay. Maybe he sold out. Maybe this. There's a lot of speculation you can do. My first question was, who did he piss off? To be honest with you, that's where I went with it because it didn't make sense with the buck breaking. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, all of that. But this didn't know. Who did he piss off? Wait to get the actual facts. I said, who did he anger? Who did he piss off? And the moment I found out, okay, his girlfriend was white, okay, whatever, still waiting for more facts. Oh, well, she was jealous because of women that were DMing him. Okay, that might be legit. That may be a part of it, but that's not the exact reason. But I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. The brother, very successful, got his physique intact as you're supposed to be. Brothers, we got to have our physical together. He blew up with these two major movies. Yeah, his DMs are going to be bananas, for sure. Okay, but still, I'm not seeing the choking thing. I'm not seeing that. So I said, well, let's wait for the facts to come out. The problem was there were too many people. with large platforms ripping this man apart with no facts. So I said, who did he piss off? That was my first question. Who did he piss off? All right. And I moved past that and I said, well, we'll wait for the facts to come out. Then all of a sudden, in less than 24 hours, she redacts the story. He actually called the police. Turns out there were 3 witnesses, including the driver and 2 other people. And there's video footage that will be released showing that she was the aggressor, putting her hands on him. I said, I say take that example and put that on every story you hear, especially when it comes to our people. Be slow to speak, fast to listen, wait for the actual facts. Case in point, I mentioned this, and then we're going to go on to a different topic dealing with the currency, because I really have to, well, before I do the currency, I want to end with that, because that's the most important. The currency, the potential World War III, that whole thing right now, the War of Armageddon, that whole situation. I really want to end with that because that's the most important out of everything else. Case in point with your brother Rizza Islam. Your brother Rizza has been accused of forcing himself on a woman before. I don't know if y'all knew this. Seriously. So while you're taking a deep breath in disbelief, like, oh my God. All right. While you're in shock, imagine how I feel. Woo. Yeah. No facts, no evidence, didn't happen, ever. Could it happen? Hell no. Never. Not with this one. No, sirree. No. Nah. But it happened as far as the accusation. Yeah. Your brother has been accused of that. Think about that. By a black woman. I should really be out here bashing black women, right? No. I never will do that. But I'm letting y'all know. All it takes for a black man's life to roughly be destroyed is for an accusation to be placed on him. Not a fact, not the truth, just an accusation. That's all. That's all. This is the imbalance right here. You can put out an accusation about me. I can go straight to jail, have endorsements just, pulled from me, contracts pulled. I can't go speak here, can't go there, can't do this because of an accusation. Just an accusation. No proof at all. Just an accusation. Flip it around. A man can accuse a woman of something. And I would say 7 or 8 times out of 10, he will not be believed. He has to provide some more evidence. Right? And this is not to, talk down on anyone who has been a real victim of things. No, the problem is women who lie on men. And I'm only talking about the ones who lie. Knowing that you're lying about what you said this man did, you make it hard for the women who are legitimate victims of a real situation to be believed because you lied. How is that helping your sister out? How? You can't say, oh, I love women. No, you don't love women. No. Your lie will destroy this man's life, will put a cloud over black men in general. See all them niggas, they all the same. And it will also prevent your sisters from being believed when she actually is a victim of something for real. Rape, assault, you name it. But ain't nobody gonna believe her. Why? Because, so many of you have lied before. It's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong for a man to actually do it. Let's make that clear, because some males have done that. And that's the ultimate wrong. Which you should really face the ultimate punishment for that, bro. And then on the other end, for a woman to lie, to say that a man did that to her and it never happened, that too is wrong. I just want to let y'all know that. I want to let you know that your brother has been a victim of that. I for sure have been lied on. I'm talking about, it'll make you feel like, wow, I've been betrayed by the sisters. I stand up. Y'all know how I am. I'm the black woman all day. When I say I'm the black woman, I'm for the black woman all day. All day, every day. No one can turn me away from loving a black woman. Everyone knows it about me. Some brother, I think it was one or two of these, again, weird, pitiful, soft Mickey Mouse milquetoast Negroes on YouTube. Which, by the way, some of you now follow this page. And you don't know that I know. That you refer to me as a simp because I stand up for black women. Again, some of you weird, weak, punctified, Mickey Mouse milquetoast Negroes who are not soldiers. You're not. You're YouTubers. And you can tell because you have no deep connection to the black woman. If you have an issue with your baby mama, then say that. But don't you dare come at real black men who stand up on principle for our sisters. Period. Because if I meet you in person, which I will, 9 times out of 10, you're probably 5'5", 5'6". That's why you're always talking down to women. You're a beta male. It's a very... I'm going to tell you something seriously. A lot of you are on this internet talking. I'm talking about when you are dogging women. I'm not saying if you're saying something that's the truth and you're having a conversation. I'm saying when you're dogging women. I can't stand you Negroes. I can't stand y'all. And I will say it to you in person. You pitiful to me. And you really need to get in touch with yourself because there's something wrong with you. Always talking down to a woman, but you step in front of a real man and you quiet. You really need to check yourself, seriously. And as I just mentioned, some of you now follow me not realizing that I've watched videos where you call me a simp, not realizing Negro. You wouldn't say that to me in person nowhere. So stop. Some of you weirdos who started on the internet, you have never been in real life, clearly. You started on the internet and you got famous off the internet, and so you do things for clickbait. You do things to get people's attention. Some of us didn't start on the internet. That's why we have a different motive. I don't do things for attention. No, we do things because they're right. So let's move past this real quick. Again, pitiful. It's real sickening. It's irritating. Stop doing it because you can't talk down to a woman, beat down on a woman, and then turn around and say, "What's going on, baby? What's your name? Now my name is blah blah blah." You some weird. Y'all some funny dudes. You some internet keyboard punks. Seriously. It's like, boy, you... All right, anyway. It's a lack of testosterone that many of you have. So, moving on to the next point. I've been accused of that horrible thing. Again, no proof whatsoever. Thankfully, because of my reputation and because of the work that I do, and really because of the people that know me personally in my personal life and just how I carry myself, period, you can see. Thankfully, and just because the fact is, no, I'm absolutely innocent of what I was accused of. Thankfully, again. Thankfully, right hand to Allah all day. So, next quick subject really fast. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Hopefully this one doesn't get taken down because the last one got taken down at 202,000 subscribers roughly 2.5 weeks ago. And we built that up in less than 5 months. So roughly 20 weeks, we got to over 200,000 subscribers because y'all were looking for your brother. So I appreciate that. This one is Rizza Islam, intellectual extremist. Make sure you go and search for that and subscribe to that ASAP. We will be dropping the interview with Dr. Lane Rowling tomorrow. Critical information. Critical information. Critical information. So please make sure you subscribe to that. On the other note, Dr. Lane Rowling was a guest on the Intellectual Extremist podcast. Another guest that I recently had is Flame Monroe. Flame Monroe, who y'all have seen, is a trans. And he will say, and I'm saying he because he says he, and that's the facts, but I'm just letting y'all know. That's why I wanted to interview him, because he's just spoke the truth. He said, I'm a father. He said, I'm a father. I have children. I'm like, so, okay, there you go. Just speak the truth. Just speak the truth. Come on now. He said, yeah, we are bullying people now. Hold on. We talked about, man, I'm going to put up a clip probably later today about, he talked about the Gabrielle Union thing with Zion, but they're changing their son's name to Zaya. He talked about that. He talked about the drag queen reading hour and how that was wrong. How they're pushing this sexual stuff onto children. He talked about how all this stuff, how the government is pushing this whole agenda, pushing on people, and it's wrong. I said, respect for you speaking the truth. Some people didn't like that I interviewed this person because they're a part of LGBT. Let me say this to those who may not know me at this point. I don't do anything because it gains attention. I do it because it is right, because I feel that I'm led by Allah to do what is right. That's it. Simple as that. I don't do things to please anyone. I do it because it is right. Simple. Simple. And anyone who didn't watch the interview, you will be commenting illogically. You're going to prove and show everyone that you didn't watch the interview. Because as a black man who loves the black woman, and I do not agree with the LGBTQ plus style or behavior. I don't agree with it at all. Nope. However, I can sit down and have an adult conversation with anybody. And everyone's not strong enough to do that. I've sat down and had a conversation with a pure KKK white supremacist. Most of you probably couldn't sit and stomach that. Most of you probably couldn't do that. I barely could do that. I was like, okay, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Just to see how this person thinks. You have to be able to put your emotions in check when you are in war. You have to be able to converse. Not conversate, converse. I've had conversations with people that you would be like, Rizza, how could you sit in front of him, in front of her, and even spend your time, your energy, and while you're doing all that, and I'm just sitting there looking at you thinking, do you think this person is more intelligent? Do you think this person is more spiritual? Do you think that they are better than you in some way? Then why are you getting so emotional about it? We're at war. Sit down and have conversation. Chess is about wise moves. Checkers, you just jumping around. King me. Okay, we're not playing chess. This is checkers. I am learning. Your enemy sits right up next to you and learns everything about you. Most of these artists have their own enemy right next to them. People who don't give a damn about you, sitting right up next to you, learning everything about you. They hate your guts and they just learning everything. And you're letting them sit right there next to you. Don't get mad at me because I'm able to go where most people can't. In our generation, I can have a conversation with anyone. Seriously. I can have a conversation with anyone and not feel inferior to anybody. Another problem that some of us have, you feel inferior, like you're beneath people. I'm not beneath nobody. What's the matter with you? You don't have any confidence in your intelligence? You don't have any confidence in who you are as a black man, as a black woman? What's wrong with you? How can you go sit? Because I can. Our ancestors went through a hell of a lot worse than we did. And I'll be damned if I bow down to somebody's emotion. You sit over there. Don't step over here. Go sit over because you will cause a problem. Like that little boy in the movie Birth of a Nation. Y'all let me know if you've seen Birth of a Nation. Real quick before I mention this, because if you haven't, then I'll mention a different reference that will help us to be on the same page. Have you seen Birth of a Nation? With our brother Nate Parker? Y'all seen Birth of a Nation? When they were rising up against their slave masters. In the movie Birth of a Nation, Nate Parker, this brother, he was a slave, Nat Turner, the story of Nat Turner. When he was rising up and he started reading the Bible for himself and he started reading passages and scriptures talking about an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. And, you shall die by the sword that you kill others with. And he started getting into these scriptures that were kind of speaking to him in a different way now. And he said he was inspired by God to rise up and slay those who had delighted in slaying us. Hey, that's scripture now. He didn't take it out of context. Right there in context. He was right in the groove. He was right there. And he started to chop the heads off of slave masters. I don't know if y'all are happy about that. I'm happy about that. Until white people watch right now. If you get mad, then all you're going to do is admit that you are just as racist as your slave master ancestors. If I were you, I wouldn't comment. Hold your emotion. Please don't do it to yourself. Good job. You should be happy too. So when he did that, he gathered up other slaves who wanted to be free, and they started to kill the slave masters. But there was a boy, a little boy, just like some of you little boys on the internet, who was afraid that Massa would find out. And he went and told Massa. He ran ahead to the next plantation and snitched on the slave rebellion. This is in the movie. Snitched on the slave rebellion and told Massa. Massa, they's coming to kill you, Massa. They's coming. And destroyed the slave rebellion. And Nat Turner and all of the brave black men who did not want to be house Negroes anymore, who wanted to stand up and seek out righteous vengeance according to the Bible. Hey, wanted to do what was right. They killed them all. What am I saying? A lot of y'all ain't built like that. A lot of y'all are not built like that. You're really not built like that. A lot of us that I see, a lot of black males out here, a lot of you have more energy, negative energy toward black women than you do toward the white man. It kills me. It baffles me. It baffles me. Some of you have a reason. There shouldn't be any hatred toward any area or party. I'm not saying hatred. I'm saying you don't place the energy where it belongs. You are misplacing the energy and putting it in a direction where it should not reside. I'm not getting this. Okay, your baby mama did you wrong. This woman did you wrong. Your mama abandoned you. Your auntie said this. Your grandmama said you wasn't nothing. I get all of that, and it's real, and it is wrong. And the women who do it, you are wrong for that because you are destroying a lot of black men. This is true. However, on the other side, that is a byproduct of what happened to our ancestors on the plantations. It is a trickle-down effect. Put the energy where it belongs originally. That's my point. Please. So I mention all of that to say, I'm not afraid to sit down and have a conversation with anybody. And no one's going to stop me from doing that. Nobody. You will never stop me from sitting and having a conversation, because the next step after a conversation, which is verbal, is something that is physical. This is why when you are in war, there are negotiations where you are conversing so that you don't go to the next step. Too many of us, we because you don't know how to communicate. And you get pissed off and you just want to yell at people and put your hands on people and do all this. And it's like, bro, you're not ready for the real war. If it broke out seriously right now here in America on your street, a lot of us are not ready for that because you're too emotional. You don't train. You don't exercise. Let's just kill the noise. You don't train in no style of martial arts or self-defense. You do not exercise, so you ain't ready. You don't even exercise on having discipline and controlling your own emotions. We don't. That's why we always talking down to women. It's like, I can't stand that, man. Seriously. Don't say nothing to me about me sitting down having a conversation with anybody. Whether if they are white supremacists or somebody from the LGBT or somebody from the Christian church or somebody from the conscious community, whether that is a Hebrew Israelite, a Pan-Africanist, a Nawabian, a Moor, a Nation of God on Earth 5%er, Nation of Islam. Don't say nothing to me. I've earned the right to be able to sit down and converse with somebody because I can too, on the other side, get very physical. But that is the last resort. That's easy. That's elementary. That's nothing to brag about, honestly. That's nothing to brag about. For a man to be like, man, I can get, that's not nothing to brag about. That's not. You should brag about being able to have an intelligent, spiritual conversation with somebody. Literally, being able to verbally joust with someone. Verbal sparring, intellectual banter. That, having a dialogue, that's impressive to me. That's impressive. Because in the hood, if we have more intellectual conversations and back and forth with our words, more of our brothers would be alive right now. That's just a fact. So anyway, to get past that, yes, I had a interview with somebody from the trans community. And what? It's a show. It's my podcast that is not a podcast, where I'm interviewing multiple guests. There's going to be plenty of different people that I interview. Plenty. I'm talking about, I may have a rapper on there that y'all be like, ugh, why are you interviewing him? Because I can. And I choose to. It's called intellectual extremist for a reason. Because we are going to the extreme areas of intellect. And the people who I strive to bring on are those who have enough integrity to stand up and speak the truth, regardless to whom or what. The episodes are not censored. What they say is what you hear. What I say is what you hear, because everything is censored nowadays. Cut off the truth, cut off the real information. It's all said. No. And by the way, now that this war situation, let's go into this next part of the conversation, the real part of the conversation. While people are getting so emotional and back and forth, you might want to get your passport. Let me say this real quick to you. You might want to have your passport. You might want to start transferring your paper fiat money, IOU, paper fiat money, into gold and silver. You might want to start transferring this paper fiat money IOU that went off of the gold standard over 40 years ago into accessible precious metals, gold and silver, tangible, physical, that you can actually hold in your hand in exchange. I'm not talking about digital currencies. If you decide to do that, that is your decision. But I'm talking about precious metals that you can hold in your hand. You can buy things with. Seriously. Since we want to argue and go back and forth about some emotionalism and some nonsensical nonsense on a small scale, let's get to the real thing. The United States is over $30 trillion in debt. This is, if you really want to talk about something serious, this is what you should know about. The Silicon Valley Bank being shut down was not just one bank being shut down. I promise you this. I did a free virtual lecture titled The Currents of Currency. Those who are the members of my VIP group called Free Thinkers, you have to go to joinfreethinkers.com to become a member of that group. Joinfreethinkers.com. Everybody type into the chat really quick. Joinfreethinkers.com. Joinfreethinkers.com. I went over this. And what is crazy is I went over this and the bank situation didn't happen until after. But we were going over not only how the dollar went off the gold standard, not only how back in the 1930s, dealing with the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, and particularly, because you have to go back to the 1913 Federal Reserve Act to really understand all this. You have to know when gold was no longer the standard, silver was no longer the standard. You have to know when the federal tax came in. You have to know about the birth certificate. And your role, our role in the birth certificate system. In order for us to really understand exactly what's going on, you must know that. Then once you get through all of that, then you have to know about the United States debt clock. Everyone type into the chat really quick. usdebtclock.org. usdebtclock.org. If you want to get serious, this is where it goes. usdebtclock.org. We went over all of this. You must know that in order for this to get to where it has gotten now, it has taken just over 100 years for it to get to where it is right now. And where it is now, it is impossible to reverse it. Where it is now is a point that it is impossible to come back from. I used to listen to this particular lecture by the minister more than most lectures, right? At a certain point, I was listening to the lecture dealing with Reparations, How Much Does America Owe? I recommend everyone watch this lecture by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Reparations, How Much Does America Owe? He's done a few, plenty of lectures dealing with not only reparations, but the debt of America and the Federal Reserve and how much money America owes to different nations and how does she leverage her debt by putting up what? Where does the debt come from? Who does the debt fall on? The printing of the money versus the gold and silver, and looking at Fort Knox, and looking at the 12 Federal Reserve locations. Our Federal Reserve here in California, I believe, is in Sacramento. Then you have other places. Chicago, there's a Federal Reserve in Chicago. Boston, Massachusetts has its Federal Reserve in Boston. Atlanta, Georgia is the location where their Federal Reserve is. There are 12 Federal Reserves in the United States, and you mean to tell me America is not just broke, she is in debt. Rizza, tell me something. Why is it that China is the second, it's going back and forth right now, the second or first that America owes the most to is China. It's China. Who's next to that? Japan. Meanwhile, America's constantly talking about China, saying all these different things about China. It's like, wait. Hold on, player. You owe them money. You owe them money. Rizza, prove it. Please explain to me why many of the seaports are owned by China. Different seaports here in California are owned by China. Some of the seaports in Miami, Florida are owned by China. Some of the seaports in Houston, Texas are owned by China. China. Hell, look up under your foot. It might say made in China. You need to pay attention to what's going on. Business and commerce and understanding how the economy really works will help us to look at why we're in the condition that we're in now. What am I saying now on this point? Man, we went through the Jonathan Mayer's conversation for those who just came in. We already talked about that. We talked about the responsibility of male and female when it comes to relationships. We talked about the interracial relationship circumstance and that factor in it. Then we talked about us having conversations with anyone who we choose, whether they are from the LGBT, whether they are white supremacists, whether they are Jewish, whether they are black, white, conscious community, religious or non-religious. Now we're talking about the currency, we're talking about the economy, we're talking about why things are the way they are and how serious it has gotten. How serious is it? America is no longer top dog, and what do I mean? She hasn't been top dog in a long time, but what do I really mean? And this is something that I had to look at because it got deeply serious. My mother started setting us up on gold and silver a while back. She said, y'all need to send in as much paper money to get gold and silver. Because she said the Great Reset has already happened again. It happened multiple times. But she said it happened again, and you're going to regret only having this right here. Do you know? Man, it's too many layers. Okay. You have NATO. Then you have BRICS. In NATO, which is a conglomerate mixture of different nations that come together to protect each other's interests and many other things. Then you have something called BRICS, which is a separate, more economic-based for now, because it's going to go into military armament next, but let's just hold it here. Their economic empowerment first. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, not India, pardon me, Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, South Africa. Okay. Some of you are asking, where do you purchase gold and silver? The company that I use, you have to join, respectfully, you have to join our members group to get that, because for security reasons, I do not put out that private information. See, again, I don't do things for attention. That includes securing the things that I do. So you have to go to joinfreethinkers.com and join the membership for that. And our members are being set up to get this changed from this into silver and gold. So you have to go to joinfreethinkers.com, not www, just joinfreethinkers.com, because we have to protect each other. It is a serious thing. It is very serious. And thank you. It is India in BRICS. My apologies. I got two things mixed up. I was thinking of the treaty peace agreement that China just brokered between Saudi Arabia and Iran. That's what I was thinking about, but I was talking about BRICS. Okay, so India is in BRICS, BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's in BRICS. And the other thing that I just mentioned was China, which again, okay, what I just said to y'all is extremely serious. Hold on, let me pause. I know I speak very fast, but wait a minute. Have you traveled outside the U.S.? Absolutely. Multiple times. America's not involved in the next power move that has just occurred. She's not involved. Brazil coming together with Russia. Okay, that in itself is extremely powerful. But again, in order for you to really understand how heavy this is, you have to know some level of history. This is the problem. Too many of us don't know that much history, but just stay with me. Brazil and Russia. Okay, that's crazy. India. Okay. One of the most heavily populated nations on the planet, where over 50% of the gold is on the bodies of the women in India. Okay, let's just, and a whole lot of other things with the nuclear side and things like that. India, no joke. Brazil, Russia, India. Okay. Then you have China? Russia and China together? And India and Brazil. Then South Africa. The top world powers, China, America, Russia, right? Israel, talking about military power, talking about nuclear weaponry and things like that. Then, of course, you go to Iran and you go to other nations. But I really want y'all to understand something. America has not been invaded by a foreign nation. She hasn't been invaded by a foreign nation. The reason why I'm harping on this is because the possibility, and some of you are like, no, she ain't going to be because of blah, blah, blah. I don't think we understand. We have to prioritize what we become irritated and angry about. You got to get your passport. You got to change your paper fiat money into gold and silver and buy up land, whatever you can do. If you're from the hood, you got to do your best to get some gold and silver. The precious metal, silver coins, gold coins, silver coins, gold coins. Those are the easiest able to be accessed. High value doesn't lose value. Gold doesn't lose value. You might want to start focusing more on that because it's very real. And a lot of people are like, man, America can never be invaded. And America can never be attacked. America can never. Babylon was great. Rome was great. Babylon was great. Rome. Indefeatable Rome. Impenetrable Rome. Study history. A lot of us don't want it to be the truth. I get you. But maybe you should take things a little more serious now. Maybe. The reason why I'm not telling people to buy Bitcoin is because now you're going into a now regulated system that I told people was going to be regulated. You thought that this enemy was going to allow you to gain access to high levels of money that they couldn't have their hands in, regulating and controlling it? Because Bitcoin was not regulated, nor was it controlled by the United States government, nor the Federal Reserve at all. It wasn't. At first, it wasn't. But that was going to change. Absolutely. Anyone who knows the basics about this was, yes, that was going, absolutely. Yes. Now it's called, what is it, CBDCs? Central Bank Digital Currency. Central Bank Digital Currency. What? What? I was on the Corey Holcomb show, and y'all can go watch this old interview. When I was on the Corey Holcomb show, I've been on the Corey Holcomb show, Corey Holcomb 5150 show multiple times. But one of these times when I was on there, which was about, I think it's going on 2 years now, I told them about Bitcoin. And I said, anyone who has Bitcoin right now should focus on using the majority of it to change it into silver and or gold and or buy up land. I said, because they don't have their hands in it now, meaning the Federal Reserve. I said, but they're going to put their hands in it and regulate it because they cannot allow this amount of wealth to just be running rampant all over the world with them not getting no ducats from it. They're not getting no fees off of it. They don't control nothing. What? No, you dealing with gangsters. It's not how this thing moves. No. Some of you said you saw the episode. Yes, absolutely. I said, I don't get this thing twisted. No. Oh my gosh, man. All right. Read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Watch the lecture by Minister Farrakhan titled The International Bankers. There's actually a couple of them. But the one I'm talking about was at a Savior's Day he had on a blue suit on stage. The International Bankers. Watch that. He goes into Confessions of an Economic Hitman by Gary Allen and Larry Abraham, I believe. He goes into The Creature from Jekyll Island. He goes into those books, but he goes into this because we have to know this stuff, all right? So, there's a lot more I really want to say on this. Okay, Russia and China. Somebody said, what book? One of the books is titled Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Critical. It deals with foreign leaders being assassinated because they refuse to fall under the Federal Reserve's business agreements when it comes to controlling the money, monetary system, etc. of their nation. And therefore, they don't fall into the plan. And therefore, since you don't fall into the plan, you don't want to fall in line, we're going to take you out and supplant you or replace you in a coup with someone who we have already set up to control the things that is what we wanted to get in the first place. So we're going to take you out and we're going to replace you with somebody who we set up as our agent to give us the oil or the diamonds or the control of the votes or whatever. The thing that we want to get from you that you wouldn't give to us, we'll take you out, put them in there, and they'll give it to us. It's called a coup. C-O-U-P. Happens quite often. I actually wrote it in my book. For those of you who have read my book, Message to the Millennials, go to RizzaIslam.com and get it ASAP. I put in there a list of some of the FBI and CIA's top assassinations, not attempts, assassinations, for sure. A list of, I believe, 30 assassinations. So that we can have an understanding that you're not dealing with just a government. You're dealing with gangsters here. Seriously. If you think you're about to run up on somebody because they owe you $50, word, you have whole nations worth billions and trillions with their gold and their natural resources beneath the people's feet. And these governments are thirsty for that oil, thirsty for the gold, thirsty for the coltan in the Congo that Mr. Elon Musk's Teslas use for the battery power. You think these people, it's a different level of being a gangster. It's a point. It's a different level of being a gangster that we don't understand. Because while we banging on hoods and corners, these people are banging on nations. This is a completely different level of gangster. And it's reaching a point now, as I mentioned, yes, I'm fasting for Ramadan. And it's reaching a point now where America's dollar is no longer king. Really hasn't been king. It's just the belief in it that makes it valuable at all. It used to be backed by silver and gold. You used to be able to go to a bank and hand them this paper and it said silver certificate at the top, and it would give you the amount of silver that this piece of paper represented. That's how it used to be. Now, this is backed by virtually nothing. Then it gets a little more technical when it comes to the Federal Reserve and the printing and the balancing. It gets a little more technical, but in essence, this is worth nothing. It's just a belief that, hey, this is $5. It's worth $5. It's worth, oh, okay, all right, this many quarters. Oh, yeah, okay. No, that is just a belief. It's just a belief. But there are nations in Africa right now who are taking on the Chinese yuan officially, removing this, switching it out for the Chinese yuan right now. Russia just paid off $20 billion of debt that certain African nations owe to the United States. Extremely insulting, by the way. You're telling African leaders they owe you when you came in, raped and robbed and pillaged their nation, took their natural resources, their minerals, killed off their leaders, and you're saying, but you still owe us this money. See, this is how sick. Now you get into the International Monetary Fund, then you're getting... It's right here. All right? They're switching it right now. Russia paid off... Man, I don't think... I'm giving y'all some... A lot of y'all know. You already know. Many of you know, and then many of you don't know. I'm telling you, what I'm saying to you is so... It's so heavy that your priorities, my priorities, our priorities must change. Seriously. The stuff that make you angry right now ain't really worth it. The stuff that's pissing you off and irritating you is not worth it. It's really not. Not compared to the real stuff that we're looking forward to happening if we don't get things together. Sorry to tell you. But once I saw China coming together with Russia, then when I saw Russia recently pay off $20 billion worth of certain African nations' debt, then, whoa, man, I promise y'all. Last week in South Africa, they held a protest. Julius Malema. This is why we must know what happens internationally. If you only know what's happening in America, you're that much effective. If you know what is happening outside of the United States as well as what is happening inside, you are that much more effective, intelligent, and aware. Julius Malema, many of you don't even know who that is. And some of you do. But Julius Malema, who was over the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters over in South Africa, who still carries a strong spirit of Mother Winnie Mandela. May Allah be pleased, she was no joke. She put a tire over the necks of traitors to the cause and set them on fire. Woo! Some of y'all are like, man, she crazy. No, you have no idea. Living under an apartheid regime. But a lot of stuff, whatever. Another part of history, another conversation. Julius Malema. He made the announcement a couple days ago at a conference. They asked him because there was word going around that Vladimir Putin of Russia had a warrant out for his arrest and that he was going to be arrested. Word. Word. Okay. When I saw that news, I said, yeah, okay. Then word went out that if he is attempted to be arrested, that will be accepted as a declaration of war. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Next thing you know, Julius Malema, who is known as one of the heaviest, you talking about black to the bone, loves the people, period. He opened his mouth and he said, not just the $5 trillion. I'm talking about, he said, if Putin comes here, he said to South Africa, he said, we will pick him up, we will secure him, we will drive him around, and we will make sure he gets back to the airport. He said he will not be arrested on our watch. Putin is welcomed here. This is what Julius Malema said over in South Africa. I'm like, he said America is not welcomed here, but Russia is. I don't know if y'all understand exactly what is happening now. I don't think you understand. You better start learning some Mandarin. You might want to start learning some Chinese. You might want to start learning some Doche Sai. You might want to understand what it means, Ngoy and Sheshe, all that stuff. I know a little bit of Mandarin. I've been to China. I'm serious. You might want... Oh, boy. Not lying at all. You might want to learn some of the language of Mother Russia. You might want to learn more than just Russian roulette. You might want to, like, really seriously. You think I'm playing? Seaports are owned by China, many of them in California. Seaports over in Miami, Florida. Seaports in Houston, Texas. Many of the businesses are owned by China. Some of the top investors in AMC Theaters and Ford and all these different companies are Chinese companies. They have the largest amount of stock. Do you know? Do you know? I was laughing when they put up that balloon. They said, oh, it's a balloon, a Chinese balloon. I said, excuse me? Then they just had a whole hearing with the CEO of TikTok in front of Congress saying TikTok is inspiring the youth in America. It's causing this in America. We believe you're selling the information from TikTok to the Chinese government, Mr. Chu. I started laughing so hard. Over 150 million Americans currently use TikTok. Any of y'all have Hondas? Hyundais? Any of you have these different cell phones? Top companies in America. The highest stockholders are Chinese companies. If China wanted to invade, she succeeded. Don't block my account. Don't take me down now. If she wanted to invade, she succeeded. If she did. Just like America succeeded in invading multiple nations under the name of democracy. You have well over 150 military bases in multiple nations and countries all across the planet. Right now. China is in many parts of Africa. China is in many parts of Jamaica. China's doing what America did, but in a slightly different way. She's not going and just killing people like America did. And that's why America doesn't like her. Because China is creating more allies than enemies. And now they've come together with Russia. Oh my gosh, I don't... Study history, get your stuff together, check your priorities. I'm not getting irritated by small stuff. Not irritated by small stuff. Sorry, not even close. Not even close. Somebody said talk about the farmland China is buying up. Oh yeah, China bought up a lot. A lot of acres. A large percentage of acres, of acreage in America. For sure. For sure. See, one major thing that we don't get before I hop off here, we might want to understand something very critical. While we twerking over here in America and talking about my gender is this today, and tomorrow it's different, and the day after that my gender is this, and matter of fact, 4 days from now I don't have a gender, and okay, while you talking about that, China's children are being taught international systems of government, high levels of mathematics, advanced economics. They are trained in a very strategic manner. You can't say nothing about them. This is out of respect. I'm just being very respectful here when it comes to us. They're very disciplined. They're very nationalistic. They are not American Chinese. They are Chinese American. And don't you ever say it the other way around, because they will check you. I am Chinese first. They are very nationalistic. They are very serious about where they come from, as we should be. That's why you never gonna give me the turn on my people. That's why this enemy can never give me you never, what? You must be stupid. No. They are Chinese first. They are nationalistic first. They are serious. They're serious. See, you can tell who's been to China versus who hasn't by how quick you run your mouth without speaking facts. I've been to China. I haven't been all over China. But I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Kowloon. I've been to Taipei, Japan. Yes. People who don't travel shouldn't be talking about international affairs that much, because you don't know. You don't know. It's a different mindset that you start to get. You go to certain areas and you realize how serious their ability to sustain is versus ours. And I'm saying ours meaning us on average, the people. There's a reason why the Japanese government can go and replace an entire bridge, or not bridge, a major sinkhole, let's just say, large sinkhole, let's say 40 by 60, 40 foot long, 60 feet wide in the middle of the road. They can patch that up and completely change the whole structure within a week. And in America out here, we still got potholes that are less than 10 by 7. Been there for 2 years. I know for a fact in Compton, for sure. And I'm talking about in heavy traffic intersections to where you don't need to go and talk to city council on Wednesday night. There's a pothole right there on Wilmington and the line's right here. Okay, it's the pothole right there by the gas station. You don't need to because it's a high traffic area. They drive right past it all the time. But in Japan or the Chinese, they see something, whoop, whoop. And mind you, I'm not saying they're perfect. Let's not get that twisted. There's a lot of human rights violations in China too. Let's not get that twisted. Seriously. Especially with the Muslims. They have over 1 million Muslims right now in roughly what is roughly known as a concentration camp right now that Nike partially is invested in. There's a lot of conversations, all right? It's a lot of conversations. But I just wanted to mention, preparation-wise, they are more prepared than we are as a people on average. As a people on average than we are for what is to come. It's just something I wanted us to think about before we talk about other people. No, we can't talk like that. They're supposed to be fixing these potholes in Carson and Compton. Yeah, they are. Yeah, seriously. They know what it is. Compton got too many potholes for no reason. I'm like, how? Maybe on Alameda. That's where the trucks drive up and down. Maybe down Del Amo a little bit by the 110. I get that, but man. Anyway, so first thing I need y'all to do really quick. Subscribe to my YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Rizza Islam Intellectual Extremist. Someone said run for mayor of Compton. No, the mayor knows me. I've been awarded by the mayor and city council twice of Compton. But I couldn't be the mayor of Compton because I can't be bought. And I say that respectfully, and I say that in sheer honesty. There are a number of things that I would not do. I would end up exposing them before anything else. I couldn't accept money from pharmaceuticals. I can't, it's certain agendas that you're required to promote. I wouldn't be able to promote certain things. I just wouldn't. I would expose the whole thing and then quit the same day. Couldn't do it. Much love to those in politics who do the right thing, but there's a reason why I was in college and my major in college was political science, and I did not pursue it because I realized the amount of corruption in it, and I would more than likely end up getting assassinated running for a high position, governor or senator or anything like that, long before I end up making it into the position. I'm not speaking that into existence. I'm saying my makeup is in total opposition to those seats and those positions. I couldn't do it. But I think when you hold a level of position of influence where the people are concerned, where they listen to you, and you let the mayor know that, then you can influence the decisions of the mayor and the city council and things like that and get some things done. So make sure, I'm winding this thing down, y'all. Winding this thing down. First thing, look out for the interview tomorrow with Dr. Lane Rowling on my YouTube and on Rumble. So please go to YouTube, type in Rizza Islam Intellectual Extremist. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Also, go to Rumble, type in Rizza Islam. Subscribe there. For those of you saying the live was amazing, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been a long time. Can you restate the books you mentioned earlier? Yes, 2 books. One is The Creature from Jekyll Island. The Creature from Jekyll Island. Jekyll Island. Jekyll. The Creature from Jekyll Island. Critical book dealing with the creation of the Federal Reserve and the meeting that happened off the coast of Georgia called Jekyll Island, 1913. International bankers set up what we now know as the Federal Reserve and central banking system, roughly how they took control over the world's monetary system. That's one book. The other book is Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Cold book. I got that book at the Salvation Army for 50 cents. They didn't even know what they had in there. I saw it. I was like, is that? Snatched it. I didn't care how much it was. That's how much it is. Thing said 50 cents. That's 50 cents. I wasn't even going to waste their time. Do you know what's in this? Whatever. Here. Took that book, was reading through it. I said, yo, this is crazy. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. All right. Make sure you read those two books. Also, for those of you looking at the shirt, Natural Immunity Wins. We were right. We were right. Fauci lied. He admitted that he lied. It's all coming out. Go to RizzaIslam.com. Go to RizzaIslam.com. Make sure you get your shirt. Also get my book, Message to the Millennials, RizzaIslam.com. Also, for those of you who want to have exclusive, this is serious, exclusive behind the scenes, everything. You get to watch episodes of the podcast at least 5 days before the people get to see the episodes. You have to go to Patreon. Go to my Patreon and type in Rizza Islam on Patreon. Right now, 3 different levels, $10 a month, $25 a month, $50 a month, and you get different things. But like I said, you get the updated information at least a week before everybody else does, including the first look at the episodes of my shows and interviews. I'll be recording some more this week as well. And I want y'all to look out because there's a lot of guests I'm bringing on. Different hard, heavy-hitting guests that is going to blow your mind. Rizza Islam on Patreon. Go and pick your level. And lastly, for those who want to get involved with different things that we're doing in the community, make sure you go to joinfreethinkers.com. That is a VIP free thinkers group of us who are doing things in the community, and you're getting updates every week from me personally on live, just us every week, along with other things that we're doing, different solutions, networking, you name it. Joinfreethinkers.com. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to hop off of here. Pray Allah blesses y'all. You have a good night / morning. It's 11 o'clock, so I'm about to eat a little more because Ramadan, we get up early. You know what I'm saying? Get up very early. So I appreciate y'all. Good. Again, have a good night. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. We out of here, baby.